Hi, I'm Warren Geller. At Englewood Hospital and Medical Center, we believe that all citizens need to be informed about the healthcare issues that affect their lives. That's why we're proud to support the CAUCUS Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, Englewood Hospital and Medical Center, QUALCARE, Inc., a managed care company administrating health plans that care about your health care. New Jersey Sharing Network, dedicated to saving lives through organ and tissue donation. NJM Insurance Group. And by ADP, a comprehensive provider of human resources technology and services. Promotional support provided by bestofnj.com, covering all NJ has to offer. And by New Jersey Monthly, the magazine of the Garden State, available at newsstands.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Steve Adubato. It's my honor to introduce, for the first time, will not be the last, Edgar Rivera Colón, who is Assistant Professor of Sociology and Urban Studies at St. Peter's University. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Steve. Thank you for having me.
For those who don't know, St. Peter's, we were talking beforehand, is a Jesuit school focused.
That's right.
Where is it, by the way?
It's in Jersey City, and it's focused on first-generation students. And actually, one of the interesting things about St. Peter's is that something like 70% of the faculty are first-generation themselves, including true? This
Where
humble
from
servant.
Originally?
Jersey City downtown, before it became interesting, when it was like a white ethnic and Puerto Rican and black cosmopolitan sort of place.
Love it.
Yeah.
Your area of expertise deals with the opioid addiction, heroin crisis. Put that in context for us. Why do you care so much? How bad is it? Loaded question. I'm breaking all my rules, 3 questions in one. And finally, what do we need to do? Go ahead.
Okay, so I got involved, and I was telling you this, that through people that were close to me died of HIV as a result of injecting behavior when I was very young, and then their wives died, and then grandparents had to take care of those kids. And as a result, I really got into HIV early on in '93 through the AIDS hotline in New York City. And although I'm a trained anthropologist, sex and gender anthropologist, I tell people I became a medical anthropologist as a result of the crisis. I saw the crisis in HIV as important for the communities that I cared about, and then the opioid crisis is an extension of that, right? It's really that kind of work that I was interested in terms of basic public health as justice, as the justice work that I needed to do. And when I was coming up, there were so few of us who were from Latino communities, who were getting PhDs, who were becoming social scientists. I was given jobs all the time. And I decided, okay, this is the work that I need to do.
Break it down for us a little bit. People are taking prescription drugs.
They are.
And some of them are opioids.
Right.
They're doing that for a while.
Right.
Do they transition
to
heroin?
Right. So the data
is there
that
any certain trigger points? Everyone different.
The trigger points are injuries of young people, the things that happen to athletes. They get prescribed opioids, that are prescribed by the doctor, manage the pain. And there's a culture around pain that Big Pharma has promoted. Let's be honest about that. And I think they're regretting it now, but those smiles, like, how much pain are you in, 1 to 10, that came from sort of Big Pharma marketing. And I think what's happening is that these young people are then transitioning to street drugs. And what we see in New Jersey is an incredible crisis, especially in the southern counties, Essex, Monmouth,
What's the draw?
What's the draw?
What's the draw to heroin? Is it just because it's largely cheaper?
Yeah, well, it's a question of surveillance. Doctors at a certain point will stop with the young people, and
as they should.
And there's a neurological, biological process that goes on in terms of what happens to the brain, and that high is an intense high.
Listen, I'm not sure. Again, everyone's not the same. Are there some younger people and others who are taking the opioids who their body tells them, their brain tells them they need it?
I think so.
So you get cut off by the doctor.
You get cut off, and you get those reactions, and you go in. You go into the street drugs, right? Or you're, sort of foraging, to put it this way, in your parents' medicine closet,
So as we do this program around the holidays of 2017, I'm not sure whether the federal government has declared.
It's going, well, that we hear it's going to happen.
Okay, so again, we tell our folks when we're taping, going into November of 2017, the president said he's very concerned.
Yes, he is very concerned.
What would the federal government do, in your opinion, if the federal government executed and acted upon that concern?
Then we would have something along the lines of a rethinking of addiction, not as a criminal issue on a national level, as a health issue, as a mental health issue, and I'll add my social scientist piece. I think that part of the problem of opioid is also deindustrialization. And that sounds like a strange. That means that the people who are most susceptible, most vulnerable to this kind of addiction are people who were part of that, industrial working class, or their families were part of it. And with the shift to globalization, we see places where people don't have jobs. What do people do when they encounter that kind of social suffering? They go to drugs. They go to all kinds of things. And I think we haven't had a sufficient conversation around the actual public health effects of inequality.
So in New Jersey, the laws have changed around the use of opioids.
That's right.
Help me on this, Nicole. There's a limit. There's only a certain number of pills that you can get from a physician.
That's
and
right.
I also believe that physicians have to keep track in a way that they never were doing before.
Right, exactly.
And to get refills, harder than ever before.
That's right.
To what degree has that helped?
I think that helps a lot. That's a database, and it helps physicians and people who are prescribers, let's say nurse practitioners, to at least be aware.
If someone's shopping.
If someone's shopping, exactly. And I think that that's an important thing. I also think we have to consider, well, what are the things that we need to do at the public health level in terms of access to rehabilitation? So the easiest way to get rehab isn't getting arrested in the state of New Jersey. That's one of the things that the white paper I wrote, we discovered that one of the easiest routes, and this is not easy in any sense of the word, is to actually get arrested and then maybe get into some kind of rehab through the carceral system. That is not a path that we want people to take. And there are ways of decriminalizing or even having safe injection sites like they have in
talk about that,
Vancouver.
safe injection sites.
It's in Canada.
Clean needles.
Clean needles.
You believe in that?
I do. I do believe in it. And it's not because I think it's a solution.
Someone says, oh, come on, devil's advocate. Come on, you're promoting the use.
No, what I'm doing is harm reduction. I'm doing harm reduction.
Okay, I want to be really concise about this.
Right, so.
It's 60 seconds or less.
Right.
Make the case why free needle exchange is, in fact, not promoting use of drugs by those who otherwise might not.
Because the argument is positioned poorly, in the sense that the question is positioned poorly, in this sense, that people are already doing it. What do you do to mitigate HIV, hepatitis C, and other public health disasters, right? Or public health emergencies. So my point of view is there's a spectrum of behavior, and what we have to do is edge people towards a cleaner way, an easier way of living. Absolute, off the drugs, no mediation, no phases or steps, just doesn't work. And I think what we learned in the HIV crisis is that harm reduction is one tool we can use, and we should implement it on a national level.
Before I let you out of here, do we as a people, as a society, even begin to understand how serious this problem is?
No, we don't. No, we don't. And it's a symptom of a larger problem of what I would call a disarticulation of a society. And we see it at the national level, we see it at the state level. We are in a position right now where we're not really aware of the level of pain that's occurring. And I think the kind of disarticulation of the institutions that we normally supported and that we normally depended on, the kinds of things that I depended on as I went from basically being a kid in a working class community in Jersey City to having a PhD. Those institutions are frayed, and we need to make a decision. What is the common good?
Doctor, you've given us an awful lot to think about. We appreciate it. We'll continue this discussion, and thanks to you and your colleagues at St. Peter's.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay right there.
Okay, take care.
We'll be right back, right after this.
To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
I want to introduce you to a very special person I met just a few minutes ago and who has a powerful story to tell. Her name is Rosalie Hannigan. She's a spinal cord injury participant and member of the Stroll N Roll committee. And first of all, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure.
Yeah. So your life, like so many others, you're busy working, I believe, in a bank in New York a while back, and you're down the Jersey Shore, and you're on vacation body surfing.
Yes.
What happens?
I rode the wave, and then when it brought me in land already at the beach, where the water breaks, I was getting up on my knees when another wave came and hit me from the back. So I tumbled over, feet went up, and then when I landed on my back, when I tried to get up, I cannot get up anymore. I broke 2 vertebrae in my neck. So basically I broke my neck and I was instantly paralyzed. And no one can take me out because I was dead weight. The lifeguard has to come and get me, synchronically, I say in synchrony, because they don't want anything more to break on me. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just having a fun time at the beach. And my family was there, all of us, because I'm afraid to go in the water by myself. But then I did that, and then I've always been doing it for a long time, too. I love doing it. And that freak accident just happened.
And so today...
Turned my life around.
Yeah, it did. And you were telling me before, and you're actually in the robotic exoskeleton that we talked to some of your colleagues, well, some of the researchers. Gail was telling us just a few moments ago. Describe, and we'll take a shot of this so people can see it, describe this exoskeleton and how it's changed your life.
Well, the exoskeleton, as you can see, is attached to my body, and it's programmed to walk me. That's to learn to walk again and make it stronger. At first, when I started with this program, the machine is walking me. They have it like at maximum assist, and every step that I make is made by the machine, so I just go along with it. But after a while, or should I say, and that's about 8 months, by the end of 8 months, or 7 months as a matter of fact, I've gotten so stronger from this machine that they had a program that says free walking and free in the support. In other words, if they put it right now in free walk, my knee will buckle a little bit because it's not supporting me anymore.
Right.
And then I start walking with it, and when I walk with it, meaning I'm walking it, not that it's walking me.
You're doing more of the work.
Correct. I'm doing more of the work, and they even put high resistance.
Describe for folks what that means, high resistance.
High resistance, like every step I make, it's supposed to stop me. It's supposed to resist my steps. It's like having weights on your legs when you're walking. But it's the whole robot. I don't know how many pounds this robot is. So I'm carrying it on my back, I'm walking with it, and yet at the same time, it's resisting me not to take the step, but I move it anyway. And I've gotten stronger from that, and after that, I have been walking outside the robot.
You have?
Yes.
What's that like?
It was amazing. It was amazing. That's something I can never think of. I have gotten stronger from therapy from Kessler. I've been going for therapy for 5 years now. It's been 5 years since my accident. And with the robot, I've really seen a lot of progress in myself, a lot of stride. The fact that I can walk out with it, because after the robot, for 1.5 hours, I'm walking in it, they take me out of the robot and they make me walk by myself.
At this Stroll N Roll, we're meeting lots of different people who have experienced some very challenging, to say the least, injuries. I see you today, and in this interview, I've interviewed thousands of people. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger smile on someone I've interviewed. Why are you smiling so much?
Well, because this now really turning my life again, as it turned out badly 5 years ago. Now it's turning good for me. The fact that I can just stand up like this and see, I didn't even know that she's supporting me. She's not supporting me. And I'm standing with this robot. It's amazing. You can walk with it, as a matter of fact, but my training was for me to walk out of the robot. That's the training, I'm not mistaken. I'm the first one they have tried it. with, because this is supposed to be for someone to be able to walk, go outside, if they cannot walk.
You're pretty tough.
But I gotta be. And
You gotta be.
I gotta be.
Describe your family.
Oh, my family. I have a husband and 2 children. When I had my accident, my son is only 3 years old. And my daughter is about 10, turning 11. So they need me. They still needed me. So since then, through the help of Kessler, therapy and the foundation with all the researchers they've been doing, I've been participating. And it's because I need to really be able to move and walk and go around. For my children, they're still young, they still need me.
Yeah. You know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but you know that for a lot of people watching you right now, you are a role model, you're an inspiration, and you give a lot of people hope. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
So give them hope, give them more.
Yes, exactly. There's always hope. This is what I'm trying to show here is having paralyzed is not easy, and it seems like the end of the world. When I first experienced, like, what am I going to do now? How can I do things? Because I actually, as a matter of fact, I'm a quadriplegic, and you might not even notice it.
I didn't realize that.
I'm quadriplegic because my level of injury is C4, C5, which is higher up in the cervical, and from that level, everything got paralyzed. We're talking about from the neck down, I was paralyzed. And yet, you know, I did come out moving out of Kessler 5 years ago, but not enough strength, not enough. I don't even know how to walk, actually, as a matter of fact. You really lose all your ability. It's amazing. And sensation.
And you've come such a long way.
Yes, I have. Thank God. Praise God. I can go up and down the stairs now, too. and stand up. That's another thing I love the most is I go up and down the stairs in the kitchen, walk around the kitchen, and open the refrigerator and fix my refrigerator.
I don't think I'm surprised at anything you do. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Okay.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We're pleased to welcome Len Saunders, who is a physical education teacher and creator of Project ACES, which stands for?
All Children Exercise Simultaneously.
Okay, this is part of our classroom, not our, but our partners at the New Jersey Education Association and the NJEA. They have a great series on public television called Classroom Close-Up. We're going to go to that clip in a second. Real quick, set this thing up for us. What are we going to see?
You can see children at my school exercising. We are exercising with millions of kids from all over the country, and at 10 o'clock in the morning, kids all over the world are going to participate. So the motivation is to get kids excited about exercise.
You started this?
Yes.
Back in '89?
Yes.
All right. Here it is, Classroom Close-Up, Project ACES.
Boys and girls, it's time for Project ACES. Let's get ready to exercise!
ACES stands for All Children Exercise Simultaneously. It's a whole fun activity where kids get to exercise and see that exercise isn't just hard work, it's really fun.
The basic concept is to get kids exercising around the country and the world today at 10 o'clock their local time. And it's a motivating tool to get them to love exercise and to lead healthy lifestyles and just to promote physical activity and physical education.
It's really interesting and cool because kids are doing this too at the same exact time, so it's interesting to think that they're actually doing it.
Well, we started it back in 1989. This is the 29th year, and the whole idea was to get 5 elementary schools in Montville to exercise at the same time. But what happened, the word caught on, and somebody from New York heard about it from a friend, and they said, "Can we join you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then a teacher I know in Connecticut, I was telling him about it. He said, "Can I join you too?" I'm like, okay, this is cool. We got 3 states. Maybe we can try to get all 50. And I started a letter writing campaign to write to schools, and Sports Illustrated heard about it. They wrote about it, and then it just picked up from there. And it was basically going to be a 1-year event, and it just transformed into this yearly event where the first year, 250,000 kids participated, and now there's millions all over the world.
This is really a rite of passage at Valley View Elementary School. The children look forward to it each spring, but they learn about it not just from Mr. Saunders, but their siblings have been through it, their neighbors know about it, the community knows about it. So this is a big, big event at Valley View.
We have 4 leaders, and they're going to go out in front of the whole school body and all the parents and go on a stage, and they're going to exercise.
When I found out I was a leader, I got very excited. I feel it's a big responsibility because, like, not many people get to do this, and you're being a role model to all the little kids.
We've had schools from Japan and China, Poland, Israel, so the program has grown significantly, and it's exciting to see and watch it grow. Basically, how I look at it, if there's 1 million kids participating, if I could change the life of 1 child out of the millions, the program's a success.
Wow, Mr. Saunders. Wow. How proud are you?
I'm very proud. I love watching it. I can watch that 1 million times.
What do you feel and think?
I really feel that I'm making a difference, and
what's better than that?
Yeah.
There's nothing better than that.
That's a great feeling.
But back in '89, is this what you saw?
Yeah, because I kept reading articles and newspapers and TV clips that said the United States children were getting overweight and out of shape, and their life expectancy was going to be really short. And I took it to heart because that's my job, is to get them in shape. So I tried to come up with novel ideas to get them to exercise, and this one's been very successful.
You know, as a phys ed teacher, your passion, I'm curious, where does it come from?
I think as a kid, I had a rough upbringing at times, but I had a lot of role models in my life. And I think my goal was to be a role model for other children and to lead by example and to be there for them and answer questions they have. And I try to do that for my own children. So it's just important to me, gives me some closure and a happy feeling to know I'm helping somebody.
What's been the reaction from your colleagues, the educators you're around?
I hear from a lot of teachers, not just from where I work, from all over the country, and they write to me how they love the idea, they love the concept, and their kids are excited about exercise. And truthfully, how many times do kids say they're excited about exercise? And you need to make it fun and interesting and give them some inspiration to go out there. If you say to a kid, do 10 push-ups, that's boring. They don't want to do that. So this gets them up and moving, and they enjoy that.
I'm curious about this because I tell you we have teenagers and as well as a younger little girl, 2 boys, and my older son who tries to exercise on a regular basis. But I'm curious because when we often say to the kids, listen, there's a gym in the house, go work out. They're like, what?
That's work.
It's work. And I'm realizing now as you're saying this, I don't know how to make it fun. Give some advice to parents out there.
I think you have to make it interesting and change it up. And you need to explain to kids think they're going to live forever sometimes. They're healthy, they're young. I try to make the analogy, it's like making an investment in a bank. You put money in the bank for security later on in life. You exercise not just for now, but for the future. And it's an investment in your life. And I think they need to realize that exercise is not just for now, but for later on.
Well, give me the fun part. Give me an example of exercise that's fun, because the 10 push-ups, not fun. Helpful, but not fun.
I think the first step actually is parent participation. If a parent is able to do it with the kids, then go out there and do it with them. If they're not capable for whatever reason, encourage them. But I think that's the first step, is to make it interesting, like you're enjoying it.
We're doing it together.
Yes.
And by the way, when you see everyone doing it together like that, if other kids know other kids all around the state, the country, the world, what does that do for them?
I just think it's exciting for them. It makes them feel like they're part of a group. They're part of a larger thing. And I've done other programs through the years that really got them crazy up and moving, and they loved it. And the concept, it doesn't have to be complicated. Something really simple that's easy to obtain, high degree of success, and seeing you do it.
Real quick, I'm a student of leadership. What's the #1 lesson these young people are learning about leadership?
I think that they understand that they can make a difference on their own. if they go out there and they're being leaders for other people, again, the same way I feel, that it's making them feel important and worthy and something that's encouraging to continue to do that. And I think that's what they need, is that feeling.
10 seconds. What's the number one leadership lesson you've learned?
I think just for me, making a difference in people's lives is a leadership thing that I like. And the worth of that is more than anything combined, salary or, just that feeling you get.
Mr. Saunders, you are making a difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, Englewood Hospital and Medical Center, QUALCARE, Inc., New Jersey Sharing Network, NJM Insurance Group, and by ADP. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.
My husband and I spent more than 30 years in the public schools. We're retired, but we like to stay involved.
Do you think he's going to learn to fly?
We're just as busy now as in our teaching days. The same goes for a lot of the retired educators we know.
Let me see you all flap your wings like you're penguins learning to fly.
Teaching is all about building relationships, and that never goes away. Because once a teacher, always a teacher. We're Ed and Miriam, and we are proud to be New Jersey educators.